Tap in, y'all. Tap in. We back again. Back at it again. Playing no games. Let's get to it. Wartime. Yeah, let's get to it. We're going to go visit some of my old videos about 5 months ago when I told y'all exactly what was going to happen. And it's literally laying itself out exactly the way that I said it was going to lay itself out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what this is. You know what I'm saying? It's the Nesubiti Menkepera Thutmoses the Great. We back at it again. You know, I made a lot of my videos, man, about Perch, what's going on? Talk to me. You know what this is. I made a lot of my videos members only about the war, because I literally told everybody exactly how everything was going to play out. How the Iranians were going to be able to defeat America in the Middle East, how America was going to lose the Middle East, and how after losing the Middle East, America was going to resort to tactical nukes or nuclear weapons, period, after losing the war. The thing about it is that it's like I told y'all, America still has a World War II army and basically a whole military. The whole military is based off of that premise of World War II. And the thing about it is that once you understand that the Iranians have been planning for this for 47 years and have literally built their military with new innovation, then what happens is that now you start to see exactly what's going on. And if I got, like I told y'all, and it's so cold, man. It's so cold because a lot of times, man, you know, a lot of brothers didn't like to join. They didn't like what Elijah Muhammad had to say, and he had said that, you know, that the devil was permitted to rule for only 600 years, and that after that 600 years of rulership, that everything will go back to this original form of the original man running upon the planet and this, that, and whatever. That's what you're starting to see literally just, it's taking form and shape literally right in front of your eyes, if you have your eyes open enough to be able to see. You know what I'm saying? I see it. I literally can see it. And the thing about it is that it's amazing to see, man, that literally this is happening within our lifetime. To be able to witness the devil getting his ass whooped. The question is that do you want to be part of the ass whooping? That's a question you have to ask personally yourself. You know what I'm saying? I can't help you out with that one, but literally, man, when I told everybody how this war was going to go, a lot of people in my comments, oh, you know what you're talking about, you know, USA is going to win and this and that or whatever. And I was like, okay, you know. See, the thing about it is, it's like Jack Johnson. When the white folks had to fight Jack Johnson back in the early 1900s, you talk a good game, but you still got to get in that ring. You still got to get in that ring. When you get in that ring, and all that talking, you know what I'm saying, everybody got a plan, you know what I'm saying, till their asses get knocked out. Everybody got a plan till their asses get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to show y'all that This shit is real. Now, Iranians were not playing around when they said that they were going to win. And the thing about it is that they have America in such a chokehold that it's not just them. Because you got to understand, this is bigger than just Iran. It's Russia, it's North Korea, it's China, it's Iran, it's India, it's Venezuela, it's Colombia, it's Cuba. All of these countries are part of an organization called BRICS. BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And their whole purpose was to make the dollar not the dominant currency of the planet. And how they were going to do that was giving their own dollar the ability to do trade amongst themselves without depending upon the United States dollar as the trade currency. So there's a company called SWIFT that literally trades all of the currency across the world. And there's an organization called OPEC that controls the currency by controlling the petrodollar. So back in the early 1990s, Zimbabwe would stop sending food to Europe. Europe got mad and turned around and put an oil embargo on Zimbabwe, which caused their economy to completely collapse. And it was one of the first signs of how powerful the petrodollar was to all the nations of the world. And if they didn't get in line with OPEC, they wouldn't be able to sustain themselves as a nation, because literally the United States will put sanctions on them and destroy their whole economy. So what the nations after a while had gotten mad and had saw, they said the problem. So Russia decided to start their own currency called the BRICS currency, and their own organization of members inside of this to perpetuate this new world order. Trump came out with tariffs and said that anybody that was a part of BRICS would literally receive 100% tariffs on all goods that's coming into America, which would basically mean that it would shut down any type of them doing any kind of business with America and the dominant currency at the time, which was the United States dollar. Iran, also being a part of this organization, was looked at as the weaker of the two between China, Iran, and Russia. So they decided to put the pressure on Iran because it was China's way of escaping America's dollar, because literally just pay Iran and Iran would just give them the money, give them the oil without having to actually deal with America and OPEC, which was hurting their economy and basically stopping their growth. So then what happened was America decided to go to war with Iran. So you can see within the first dealings of Israel going to war with Iran, that when they attacked Iran, Iran came out with what they called Operation True Promise. And Operation True Promise was a demonstration of the potential power that Iran had with their missile force and their drone capabilities, and them being able to destroy Israel or America. So they went to war with Iran, and Iran launched its missiles, and it showed America and Israel, and that small little war that they went through. I think it was the 12-day war. They went to war for 12 days, and within that 12 days, Iran was successful in hitting targets in Israel. And being that they were successful in hitting targets in Israel, it showed the Iranians that they had the capability of hitting their enemy back. And like I told y'all, this is the first time that America has actually went to war And when I mean war, I mean a war with a nation that actually has satellite capability and missile capability enough to be able to hit America. First time in history. And I told y'all, and I'm going to show y'all the videos of what I said. I told y'all that this was going to happen. And I also told you that being that America was not going to be able to destroy their missile force, they were going to resort to nuclear war. The war's been heating up, and even though y'all watching cartoons and watching, you know, all the bullshit entertainment, the war has been heating up. Russia's got to the point now where they're literally going around in the UK and hijacking their ships now. Whereas before, the UK was boarding Russian ships and trying to steal their oil and collapse their oil industry by hitting their refineries and their oil tankers. But what has happened is that now Russia is on the offensive and Iran is on the offensive. So what has happened is that the power structure of both America and Europe has been destroyed. And now that it has been destroyed, the only way that they're able to get any kind of get back is through nuclear war. Nuclear war is like a gun. After you done sat there and you done squared off with somebody and y'all decided to throw guns and that person done beat you with just their hands and you feel like you ain't got no win, the only thing you can resort to now is to pull your pistol out and shoot them. Because you know that getting into a regular fight with this person, you're going to lose. And being that you are going to lose, as America has lost a lot of its bases in the Middle East, and not only have it lost its bases in the Middle East, it has lost its face in the Middle East as a protector of its business interests with those other Gulf states such as Saudi Arabia, Iraq, who has just kicked America out, the Gulf of Oman, the Omans, who are now doing business with the Iranians already. They're already doing business with them. And now you starting to see now that, look, they have no wins. And not only do they not have no wins, but the victor of the war is already setting up business deals already in the Middle East already. And that's why you see Trump coming out right now and saying that if the Omans decided to start doing business with Iran, they're going to bomb them. So he went from actually being a protector of them to now telling them that if they continue to do business with Iran, that now they're the enemy now. That's how fast things have changed just in 6 months. Just in 6 months, America has lost all of its soft and hard power in the Middle East. All of its soft and hard power in Europe. All of its soft and hard power in Asia. South Korea is already at the negotiating table with North Korea, trying to establish some kind of brotherhood with them. The Middle Eastern states are already deciding to try to extend an olive branch to Iran to already try to start some kind of business with them. So what Trump has done is, by him going to war and losing to the Iranians, it has cost them all of their business relationships with these countries in the Middle East, countries in Europe, and countries in Asia. Just in 6 months. And now, not only have they lost all of their business dealings with these countries, with three main big nations: Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Now that they have lost face with these countries, now those countries are now going on the offensive against America. On the offensive, Iran just disclosed today that from now on, they're going on the offensive, meaning that they know that their enemy can't stop them. And being that their enemy can't stop them, they're going on the offensive. So now what America has done, because it does not have a conventional way of destroying Iran, they have resorted to nukes. And they're telling the Iranians that if they decide to carry on with this war, that the next step of this war is going to be nuclear war. And I told you that this was going to happen right after the 12-day war. That America would lose this conventional war, and that the only way they was going to be able to stop the Iranians was to nuke them. And I'm not even sure, and I really want you to understand this, I'm not even sure that nuclear war is going to be able to stop Iran, because Iran has already been preparing to go to nuclear war with America. Russia has already been preparing to go to nuclear war with America. China has already been preparing to go to nuclear war with America. And that's not going to stop the war, even if we do drop tactical nukes over there in Iran. Because who's to say with that uranium enrichment that Iran has, that they haven't turned that into a nuclear bomb themselves? And they do have the capability to reach over here in the States. This is what happens when you lose war. You resort to the most evilest and nastiest things that you can come with to try to win the war, because you know you can't win the conventional war. All these airplanes America has, all these ships that America has, all of these guns that America have, and you can't stop them from attacking you. You can't stop Russia from attacking. You can't stop North Korea from attacking. You can't stop China from attacking. And what that has done is totally eroded this whole principle of making America great again. It's actually made America worse, because now you don't have the illusion of dominancy across the world. See, before we even sent a bomb over there and fought and did all this other stuff, people were scared of America. If you listen to Iran, you know, even though they were sure that their missiles was working, they didn't know how effective they would be until they actually launched them. But actually getting in the fight and seeing that, hey, we have the ability to actually hit our enemy back and cause injury, hurt, and pain, you have emboldened your enemy to believe that they can actually win the war. And the belief of winning a war is just as strong as actually winning the war. And even though Trump keep talking about, you know, we own the Straits of Hormuz and we control this and that or whatever, the fact of the matter is that even the American people know we're not running nothing over there. It's very, very hard. We know this from football. It's very, very hard for the visiting team to win against their enemy on their home field. Very, very hard. Very, very hard to win as a visitor on another opponent's home field. Very, very hard. It takes actually double the amount of resources to be able to win on the opponent's field than it does at home. See, when you're at home, everything's already set up. You put this here, you put this here, this goes here, you done already dug your tunnels, this, that, and whatever. But when you're visiting, you have none of those advantages. You have to literally take home with you. So what has happened is America had established itself at its bases in Jordan, its bases in Israel, its bases in Iraq, and had to literally build an aircraft carrier, an air bridge, in order to get its airplanes actually to the country. So the logistics, the amount of resources, the amount of oil that it took, the amount of weaponry that it took was double that of just being at home and fighting from home. So what has happened is that now America's at a disadvantage going into this war against an opponent that has satellite capability and the missiles able to actually pinpoint and hit their target. And they have two powerful allies in Russia and China, who have been supplying them not only with artillery, but also supplying them with satellite capability to hit the target. So not only is America fighting against Iran, but it's also fighting against Russia with this technology and fighting against China with its economic strategic ability. And that has left them totally at a disadvantage in war. So now that they have lost the conventional war against Iran, here come the tactical nukes. Same thing that happened in Japan. America lost the conventional war and lost their Pacific Fleet. And the only thing left to do was try to make the enemy surrender by dropping radiation bombs on them and killing thousands and thousands and thousands of innocent people because they couldn't win the war in the conventional sense. So this is where we have come through now, where the devil doesn't want to give up power. It has lost its conventional war. And the only thing left to do now is blow the place up. Blow it up. Try to destroy Iran and kill upwards up to 30 million people. And hoping that after killing 30 million people, that the IRGC will capitulate and surrender. And I told you that this was going to happen. After I studied Iran's underground missile facilities and realized that they had built these missiles down there anywhere between 200 and 300 meters under the ground, and that we don't have the bombs capable of actually going down there and blowing up those facilities, how are you going to destroy them? And I don't even think tactical nuclear is going to be able to destroy that. It's not going to stop their capability. So we're going to probably get ready to witness another genocide of people, another mass killing of millions of people, all because our military is not strong enough to defeat Iran. And Iran didn't want to fight. They were rebellious, of course. But if you listen to Trump's words, He didn't know that Iran's strategy was going to be, we're just going to destroy every economic interest that you have in the Middle East, and we don't care whose country it is in. Because when it comes to our own survival, we could care less about any of these countries over here when it comes to our own economic survival. When it comes to our own people, if you have a military base inside of their country, we're going to blow that shit up. If you got a military base in Iraq, we're going to blow it up. If you have a military base in Dubai, we're going to blow it up. If you have a military base in Saudi Arabia, we're going to blow that up. Anywhere you have a base at, we're going to blow it up. Any economic interest that you have in the Middle East, we're going to blow it up. And they've been successful at doing that. And when you listen to Trump, somehow he said that his generals didn't tell him that. They didn't think that Iran had the capability to be able to hit their bases. They didn't believe it. But I told you, if you go back and look at my videos, I told you what was going to happen. That we were going to resort to nuclear weapons again in World War III. This was what was going to happen. Because they weren't going to be able to beat Russia. And when you listen to them talk about Russia, they thought they were going to be able to beat Russia in a couple weeks. Here it is 4 or 5 years and they've lost the front line. And Kyiv is totally destroyed. They went to war with Iran, underestimating them. I don't even know how that's possible. After the Iranians literally showed them thousands and thousands of missiles underground. I knew something was wrong when we had to have a ceasefire. I knew America ain't never had no ceasefire. Listen, when we went to our war with Iraq, it wasn't no damn ceasefire. We burnt that shit to the ground. Burnt it to the ground. Wasn't no ceasefire. As soon as they had a ceasefire, I was like, hold up. Oh, so I was right. They don't have the missiles and the capability to stop those missiles. See, the codes, I'm going to tell you what really stopped them. When Iran went to war with Israel, and they had those cluster bombs that came out the missiles, that killed it. Because that meant that the THAAD system couldn't work. That meant that the Arrow system couldn't work. And that meant that the Patriot missile system couldn't work. Because that meant that they were shooting missiles out that once they got over Israel, they would drop literally 80 bombs spread out over the country, and they couldn't stop none of them. And it just tore up their infrastructure. And they had these missiles called the Fatah missiles that changed direction in the sky. And when they hit their target, it literally obliterated it, destroyed it. And if you go back and you look at the old pictures of the missiles that hit Israel, destroyed it. So they called for a ceasefire, and still to this day, Israel don't want no parts of Iran. None. After doing all the devilish shit that they've done. And it's crazy because literally, America went to war with these people, assassinated their leader. And then turn around and say, oh, these people don't want to behave and they're this, that, or whatever. And it's like, what? How can you sit there and fix your mouth to sit there and say this about these people after you initiated the war in the first place by assassinating their leaders, and now you're saying that they're the evil ones after you committed the evil act against them? Not only did you assassinate their leader, you assassinated their generals, you assassinated the scientists, who are working on the nuclear programs. You destroyed their infrastructure. And yet these people still fighting, still to this day. And you haven't destroyed them. So now, because they haven't surrendered, you want to tactically nuke them now. You want to drop a nuclear bomb on them, on their country now. You want to destroy them and kill millions and millions of innocent people because they won't bow down at your presence. Crazy. It's just crazy. When you really sit back and you think about it, it's like, what? This is what we're resorting to now? But like I told you, I already knew this was going to happen. I already knew this was going to be the outcome. That we're going to resort to nuclear war because the enemies are at the gate now. And Russia's going on the offensive. China's about to go on the offensive. And Iran's is already on the offensive. America has lost its strategic power inside of the Middle East. America has lost its strategic power inside of Europe. And America has lost its strategic power inside of Asia. And then the cold thing about it is that Trump was right about Greenland. And now the Russians and the Chinese are already up there moving and grooving already. The biggest battleship in the world that's ever been created by the Russians or any nation is right now guarding Antarctica. Go look it up. Already guarding Antarctica. So strategically on the board, as far as the chess is being concerned, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. It's not looking good for Europe, and it's not looking good for America at all. It's looking very, very bad. But the cold thing about it is, forget them. The people of the world are the ones who always have to carry the burden of what these people are doing. They're the ones who have to suffer for what's going on. They're the ones who are going to really pay the price for all of this. But the cold thing about it is that we all know that this happened to happen one day. These Europeans and these Americans are going to have to be thrown off the throne so that people could live a better life. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the God honest truth. The universe always balances itself out. Always. And no matter how great you think you are, the universe will make a force greater, as it always has. Always. And if you're not living in the divine light, the darkness will take you. I said this 5 months ago, that this was going to happen. 5 months ago, that America was going to resort to nuclear war to try to deter the Iranians. I want y'all to sit back and think about it for a second. How do we end up in a war with the Iranians, and the Iranians now talking about they're going on the offensive and that they got bounties out now for American men and women soldiers? How much of a collapse and a fuck up is that? They won't even show you the aftermath of the bases in Jordan. They didn't even show you that the Iraqis are now kicking out the Americans out of their country. Trump has totally been a complete disappointment, and he went into this war at a disadvantage as a visitor fighting against a home team. And now that we're in the second half of the war, now the enemy has decided that it has weakened America's capabilities and now wants to go on the offensive. That's crazy. Now they're going on the offensive. Now they're going on the offensive. Listen. It's wild. This is wild. I've never seen this happen. Even though I knew it was going to happen, I've never seen it. I never thought that it would happen so fast. That I can honestly tell you. I didn't know it was going to happen this fast. That America's power would be eroded this fast, and that the only option that they would have was to be able to go to nuclear war in order to win a war. They would have to go to nuclear war in order to win. That's wild. That's wild. They have no answer for the Iranians' missile force. None. And like I told you, when Iran decided to build their military up, they weren't concerned about building a navy. Even though they built a little small navy, they weren't really concerned about that. They weren't concerned about building an air force. Even though they have a small air force, they weren't really concerned about that. What they wanted to do was have the ability to be able to hit back. So they didn't want to build no airplanes, they just built missiles. And they built missiles of different varieties. Missiles that can move, missiles that stay on one trajectory, missiles that could travel further, and missiles that could literally drop cluster bombs out of the sky. So they built them a missile force that rivals anything anybody got in the world. Anything anybody got in the world. And their drone technology has changed the way war is waged across the world. Anywhere across the world. Anywhere. They have been successful in deterring their enemy. And see, you know, the thing about it is, I know y'all understand, well, why do you feel this way? Because what I've learned is this. From studying geopolitics across the world, I've realized that the same way that white America goes around and sanctions countries across the world, they've done the same thing to African Americans over here. The same way they go around and they assassinate people's leaders across the world, they do the same thing to us over here. So after studying how they use the banking system, the sanctions, and all of these things against people across the world, I've realized that they've done the same thing to us over here. So what I realized is that this whole Make America Great Again thing It's something that we all understand because they've been doing it against us. The same way they went over there and assassinated the Ayatollah over there, they assassinated Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. The same way they used the banking system to destroy economies across the world, they've used the banking system to destroy our neighborhoods. The same way they use drugs as tools to poison people's populations across the world, they've done the same thing over here. And you won't be able to really realize the two unless you study and you see, like, well, hold up. Everything that they talk about with the Iranians and call them evil and bad, they say the same thing about us. So it's good to see these white supremacists get their asses handed to them on the battlefield. Very good to see. And if for anybody who doesn't believe me, I have the documentations of the United States government against African Americans over here. Same way up under Jimmy Carter's administration, when they tried to separate African people from Africans over there. And they came up with policies to deter us from building an economic base with the African people over there. The United States government, the same way they work against foreigners, they work against us over here. So you gotta excuse me if I'm not so sympathetic towards a government that literally works against the interests of our own people, of starving them, having economic sanctions on them, using the banking system against them, impoverishing their neighborhoods. I'm sorry if I'm not so sympathetic for your loss, because I realize that you've been using them same taxes that you used against the Iranians, you used against African Americans. You have openly declared us as your enemy. You have openly declared us as your enemy. You have assassinated our leaders. You have denied us in the banking system the same way you've done them over there. You've put sanction on us. And even though if you want to try to sit there and deny that, I have the documents from the United States government to prove it. To prove it. Documents of the United States government openly working against African Americans' interests and sanctioning them and assassinating their leaders. So excuse me if I'm not sympathetic because somebody's putting their foot in your ass. Excuse me if I'm not sympathetic because you're getting your ass kicked. Like I said, I have the documents. It's like the homie RZA said, the government raided your residence because you had secret evidence and documents on how they raped the continents and try to erase the dominant Islamic, Asiatic, Black, Hebrew. The year 2002, the battle's filled with the woo. 6 million devils just died from the bubonic flu or the Ebola virus under the reign of King Cyrus. You can see the weakness of a man right through his iris. So I got the documents. I'm not one of these Negroes out here that's not blind and don't understand the truth. I see the truth. I see how you go around causing devilishment across the world and assassinating leaders to try to steal their resources from them, the same way you do in the black communities. Sanctioning the black people, going in their homes, putting dope and guns inside of their communities, locking up the dope dealers, stealing the money from them, stealing their cars and and resources from them, only to turn around and use those same resources for your own personal benefit. We have the documents. We have them. So we know that we're at war with you. And any black man in America who doesn't realize that he's at war with white America has lost his mind. Totally. The same way they go over there and sanction those governments and assassinate their leaders, they do the same thing here. If you read anything on FBI and COINTELPRO, you'll see that they literally go around causing mischief inside of our communities to keep us destabilized so that we don't economically grow. It's not by mistake that they put abortion clinics inside of our neighborhoods. That's not by mistake. That's part of a program to depopulate our people. Totally. Let's read it. This is up under Jimmy Carter's administration. And you can read this. It's called the National Security Council Memorandum 46. For all those who don't believe me that the United States government works against African Americans. Now, I'm sure after Trump's get out of office, we'll get some more documents, but we're going to just go up under Jimmy Carter's administration. I'm not going to even go no further than that. We're just going to start here. In elaborating U.S. policy towards Black Africa, due weight must be given to the fact that there are 25 million African American blacks whose roots are African or who consciously or subconsciously sympathize with African nationalism. The living conditions of black populations should be taken into account. Immense advance in the field are accompanied by a long-lasting high rate of unemployment, especially among the youth, and by poverty and dissatisfaction with government social welfare standards. These factors taken together may provide a basis for joint actions of a concrete nature by African nationalist movement in the U.S. black community. Basically, actions would take the form of demonstrations and public protests, but the likelihood of violence can be excluded. There will be an attempt to coordinate their political activities, both locally and internationally organizations. Inside the United States, these actions could include protest demonstrations against policies towards South Africa, accompanied by a demand for boycotting corporations and banks which maintain links with countries' attempts to establish a permanent black lobby in Congress. So that shows you that the United States government was literally working against the interests of black people, trying to get themselves out of poverty. And you think that these people are going to give you reparations? And the whole government system is literally set up to try to destroy the black community and keep them in poverty. And this ain't me saying it. This is documented evidence up under the Jimmy Carter administration. Is how can we work to make sure that these people do not get an economic foothold inside of Africa and start bringing resources from Africa to America to make more money and take themselves out of poverty. The United States government worked against that. The United States government assassinated their leaders, our political leaders, and threw them in jail. Threw them in jail. Because black people were smart enough to go over there into Africa and trying to do business with the African people to bring back raw resources that we could use to what? Enrich ourselves. But while the whole time we was trying to do that, they were over there in Africa themselves trying to get those resources to do what? Enrich themselves. So while they got this whole movement of telling you that the Africans and we don't want to do this with Africa and all this other shit, they're over there doing everything they can to steal as much of the resources up out of Africa to enrich themselves. But if you try to do that, the United States government as a whole works against you. The United States government as a whole will try to assassinate you. Not what I'm saying, but documented evidence out of their own mouths of how they really feel about you. So we got all these Sambo niggas out here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they was mad at the what? The Somalians. Because the Somalians had actually built a bridge from their own country to America and was enriching themselves. And they didn't like that. So the white supremacists of America starts working against them because they don't want nobody to enrich themselves. They want to keep everybody that's not European in poverty. And they want to hold all of the resources for themselves as a strategic advantage for their weaponry and machinery of things that they want to build. Documented evidence. Also, you see what happened during Hurricane Katrina. If y'all remember my old lives when I told y'all about Hurricane Katrina, about how right after Hurricane Katrina had happened, well, during Hurricane Katrina when it was happening, a gang of nations wanted to help out black people directly by giving them oil, giving them tents, giving them money, all to be denied by the United States government because they were intentionally wanted black people to stay in poverty. So the United States government literally denied them international help. But every time something happens to another country, America always want to be the first one to go over there and try to help them out to get a foothold inside of their nation. But when it comes to our own economic benefits, they won't do it. So you really have to realize what's going on right now. And even though they sit here and tell you that you're supposed to be patriotic as black people and you're supposed to support your country and rally around the flag don't rally around you. Never has, never will. The flag ain't gonna rally around you as black people. If anything, they're gonna use the flag to try to choke your ass out with it. They're gonna use that flag to try to whip you with it. You gotta realize what country that you're really in. This is a white supremacist, evil dictatorship disguised as a democracy. Disguised as a democracy. Disguised as a democracy. This government is tyrannical. And I wouldn't give a fuck if you put Obama in there, whoever the hell you put in there. It's the agenda's still the same. It's right here. What you saw that happened in Iran ain't nothing but a replay. Same way they went over there and assassinated those people, they were doing the same thing to us. Same thing. This is a dictatorship. These people are not for you. Never have been, never will. You might got a few little white friends and stuff like that that you cool with, but don't ever mistake the United States government for being cool with you. The day you do that, the day you've lost your mind. Look at this. It's also from the National Security Memorandum 46. Specific steps should be taken with the help of appropriate government agencies to inhibit coordinated activity of the black movement in the United States. Specific steps should be taken with the help of the appropriate government agencies to inhibit coordinated activity of the black movement in the United States. Special clandestine operations should be launched by the CIA to generate mistrust and hostility in American and world opinion against joint activity of the two forces and to cause division amongst black African radical national groups and their leaders. Not what I'm saying, but what white America is saying. What the United States government is saying. So if you realize why you can't get that bank loan, that's called sanctions. If you realize why your tax money don't really go towards your community, that's called sanctions. When you realize that unemployment has always been high amongst black men in America, that's called sanctions. We were the first ones that they sanctioned beside the Native Americans. We were the ones who they assassinated, whose leaders they assassinated first. We were the ones who they deprived and oppressed first. So when they go around and tell you that bullshit about how the Iranian people are evil and all this other shit, check the source. Because these motherfuckers are the evilest of the evil. They are not your friend. They do not want to be your friend. And in the dark, they secretly work against you. So when they sit there and try to tell you that, oh, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, how the fuck can I pull myself up by my bootstraps if you secretly in the dark working against me like a bitch? You sitting around walking around inside of society like we cool, but in the dark, you trying to do everything you can to destroy our neighborhoods. Trying to do everything you can to destroy our economies. Locking our people up for no reason. Assassinating our leaders. And all putting it in your documents as if we eventually wouldn't see it. These people are the evilest motherfuckers on the planet. That's why I don't believe nothing that come out of their mouths. All they want to do is steal, rape, murder, and kill. That's it. And they do this to every government that they got to base across the world. So no matter where you go in the world, it's still the same. And like I said, this ain't me saying this. You can go look at it for yourself. Go look it up. National Security Council Memorandum 46. United States government working against African Americans to deprive them of economic opportunity. To deprive them the ability to be self-sustaining. To deprive them to be free. Then they want to sit there in your face and tell you this is the greatest nation in the world and you got freedom over here and you got this, that, and whatever. Then you got a whole document of your whole United States government working against you. working against your people, starving them. Depriving them. In connection with our African policy, it is highly important to evaluate correctly the present state of the black movement in the United States and basing ourselves on all available information to try to devise a course for its future development. Such an approach is strongly suggested by our perception of the fact that American blacks from a single ethnic group potentially capable of causing extreme instability in our strategy towards Africa. This may lead to critical differences between the United States and Black Africa in particular. It would also encourage the Soviet Union to step up its interference in the region. Finally, it would pose a serious threat to delicate structure of race relations within the United States. All the above considerations give rise to concerns for future security of the United States. Not me, not what I'm saying, but the United States government. Not calling us Americans, but separating you from the American government. As if you don't have no place in American government. So that's why I tell you, why are you out there voting for a Democrat or a Republican, and they're literally telling you you're not part of the American society? Never have been. It's just a strategy to try to keep peace. That's all it is. But not for you to participate in the wealth of America. No. Not for you to have any ownership or say so in America. No. They look at you as the strategic enemy. And that's why you see now what's going on with the Trump administration, where literally they have attacked all the races of the world. The Latinos, the Africans, the Eastern Europeans, the Middle Eastern people, and the Asians. They don't believe in freedom through friendship. They believe in freedom through domination. Meaning that they get their freedom through dominating you. If you have no say-so on your tax money, they can do whatever they want to do to it. If you have no say-so on anything, they could do whatever they want because they literally have you dominated, have you oppressed. That's what the whole thing is about. So you got to excuse me. You got to excuse me for not being so patriotic. You got to excuse me for not being so patriotic towards a nation that don't care about our people. You got to excuse me for not being so patriotic for people who sit around and call us the N-word all day. You got to excuse me for not being so patriotic, for not supporting genocidal maniacs. You got to excuse me for that. I got too much documents, too much history on how this corrupt government treats our people. got too much documents on how the destruction of this DEI program affects our people. You gotta excuse me. See, once I realized that white America is really my enemy, I start behaving as such. Ain't no need for me to try to sit here and pretending like y'all really care or love black people when you got a whole government body that works to keep the people in poverty. When you literally have documents on how you sat there and plotted on murdering Martin Luther King. The truth is what it is. I'm just not one of these Negroes that's going to be laughing in your face and trying to be cool with you because I know the truth. I'm not joining your wars. I'm not joining your army. I'm not signing up for shit. I'll be a damn fool to go out there and put my life on the line for a country that literally works against us. Literally works against us. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. If you think that I'm wrong, I'm going to give you the ability to call in and express to me where I'm wrong at. Tell me where I'm wrong at. Am I missing the few patriotic white people who want to call me up and tell me about how this nation really loves and cares about black people? And that how we should be continuing to fight these wars with y'all? Because you guys are, like you always try to tell us, going around the world fighting for our freedom? I'm going to give you that ability to call me up. The number's 323-497-6825. 323-497-6825. Please call me and let me know why African Americans shouldn't be rooting against y'all. Why shouldn't we be rooting against y'all when we have documented evidence that you work against us at every turn? So shouldn't it be good for us to work against you when you have already openly declared us as your enemy? Huh? Openly declared us as your enemy, documented. The number's 323-497-6825. Yeah, I hung up on you because you weren't making no sense. And being that you weren't making no sense, there was no need for you to talk no more because it'd be like talking to my chair or the shoe I got over there on the floor. But if there's anybody else out there who can make a good case on why African Americans should be gung-ho and rally around the flag and support a government that doesn't support them, please, the phone lines is open. State your case. And trust me, it's a lot of black people that watch my show. So they'll be listening. And I give you all the time that you want to talk. I ain't gonna cut you off for nothing. Please explain to America, black Americans over here, why we shouldn't be laughing at y'all ass every time somebody put their foot in y'all asses. The phone lines is open, 323-497-6825. 323-497-6825. 6825. Please call in. Explain to us why black people should be supporting the United States government as they go around the world bringing freedom. Freedom and democracy. Freedom and democracy across the world. You're telling me y'all can't, only person that can make that case is Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump? Huh? That's the only people y'all can't call in and be like, hey, well, I think that. Y'all can't do it? The phone lines is open. 323-497-6825. Please call us up. Even if you're a black person, please call us up. Call us up. Ah, it's you again, huh?
What's up, Shukaku?
Hey, what's going on, man? Please make your case. Make the case for us today.
No, you make the case, man.
Go ahead and make it. I give you the phone line. It's open. Go ahead and talk to me. Tell everybody why we should be out here rallying around the flag. Please tell me. Tell me why.
Rallying around which flag? The American flag?
Come on, man. You're not dumb, man.
You said I was a shoe, bro. What are you talking about?
Come on, man.
Look.
Come on.
Either I'm not dumb or I'm a shoe. You gotta take your pick. Did you hang up?
You gonna make your case or not?
I can, but we gotta establish some rules here first.
Ain't no establishing shit. Either you're gonna talk or you're not. And I'll let somebody else call in.
Man, last time I didn't see anybody
Are you
else
going to talk?
you.
Are you going to talk? I'll give you the floor. Go ahead and make your case. I'm gonna sit right here and listen to you. Go ahead.
I mean, last time you hung up on me 3 times. So, I guess my case for why you should rally around the flag is that it's a flag that people died bearing so that you would have the right to go on YouTube and talk about how white people are the devil. I would start there.
Keep going. I want to hear it all. Keep going.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think that's a pretty strong point. I don't know if you've ever been to Arlington Cemetery, but there's all kinds of different colored people there, white, black, Hispanics, Indians, that are all buried, shedding their blood for this country. And they all bore that flag, doing that. And if it wasn't for their sacrifice, you literally would not have YouTube to sit here and talk about how we can't build the pyramids. So I'm just making a very, very basic case.
You know how many times I've heard that? You know how many times I've heard that case that you just said it?
I'm just saying, man. Like,
so that's your argument.
I mean, I think it's a pretty basic and pretty important argument.
You think it's basic and pretty important?
It may not mean anything to you because you probably don't know anybody that's ever been killed in combat.
Oh, you think so?
But, go ahead.
You think so?
I don't know, man. I don't know you. But all I know is this. There are lots of family members out there that have either lost a father or a son or a husband that they'll never get back, fighting for the freedom of this country.
Fighting for the freedom?
Yeah.
Freedom? Freedom for who?
Well, depends on which war you're talking about. If you're talking about World War I and World War II, I mean, if it weren't for America's intervention, you quite literally probably wouldn't even exist today.
I probably wouldn't exist today.
It's true, man. You think that Nazi Germany was gonna stop with the homosexuals and the Jews? If you weren't white and pure-blooded German, they did not care, man.
That sounds like American history to me, but go ahead.
But that's Nazi Germany. Like, that's history.
But that sounds like American history to me.
But that can't be the case because we've had a black president, we've had a black first lady, we have somebody who is not even a white American as a first lady in office right now.
Oh man.
Melania Trump, or the Trump family isn't all white.
I'm gonna let you hold on 1 second. I'm gonna let somebody else call. I'm gonna let you call back in a minute. Hold on. Go ahead, talk to me.
My name's Frank.
Frank?
Yes.
Go ahead, Frank.
I have a lot of history. I'm
Uh-huh.
75 years old, and I've watched many changes, and I've been part of many changes. I was the president of a local chapter of the NAACP for over 8 years. Vice president. And I have many years with membership. I was also a Navy officer, master diver. And I grew up in an orphanage, and I've witnessed so many different things that this country has established, and even has pit one race against itself. But yet that has not been addressed. It's going to be difficult to stand up against what already exists when culture that it's discriminating against has become discriminatory within itself. How do we heal that?
Say that again. How do we heal that?
How do we heal? How do we rectify that so that we can unite?
Well, I don't really believe that we will ever unite, to be honest with you.
You say we are united?
No, I said I don't think we'll ever unite, to be honest with you.
Well, I feel the same way. I mean, all the doors that I've walked through, there's no unity.
Yeah. So I don't think, see, the thing about it is that...
What would be your suggestion?
Well, first, I appreciate your call. I'm gonna answer it. I appreciate. I just want to get you on the line real fast. Thank you. Hello.
Yo, man, I don't understand why you can't have a rational or logical argument. You tell me to call back, or you stop talking in the middle of the phone call.
Well, somebody else called. So hold up. Somebody else called. I wanted them to get on too. Because you made your point. I let you make your point. Somebody else called, and I let them make their point.
To it. Like, what kind of
I'm about to respond to it now. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
I'm calm, man. I'm chill.
Calm down. Calm down. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna answer everything that you just said because it's nothing new. Everything that you said, I've heard a whole. Let me finish. Are you gonna let me talk, or do you want me to talk, or do you want to talk?
Respond, man. I want to hear your response.
Okay. Thank you. So, real simple. I've heard this before. You know, this ain't the first. Listen, a lot of white people talking points are usually all the same. When they ask black people why we support, well, everybody fought and died for this country. Yeah, we've heard that shit a gang of times. As a matter of fact, we the ones who fought and died in every single war. But it wasn't by choice. We've been in these wars by force. Force because we were enslaved by people who are tyrannical demons. So whether it was World War I, whether it was World War II, where black people weren't even treated as human beings during the war. We were segregated fighters in the war. We weren't even allowed to sit at the same table with the people that we were so-called fighting for freedom for. Black people will come home from war and literally had to fight again against the same people they was going to war with. So when you try to bring up this whole World War I, II shit and about, we were fighting the Germans were going to enslave us and do all this other shit, we were already still enslaved over here and fighting a war where we didn't even have freedom in this country. So please, you're not talking to somebody who's not educated. I'm very, very informed on the history of this nation. I know for a fact that during World War II, and World War I, we were segregated. We weren't treated as equals as black folks over here in America. So all of this, we need to rally around the flag because this country, people died and no, listen, man. Myself, my own personal bloodline. My granddaddy fought in the Korean War. My great granddaddy fought in the Civil War. So in both instances, when I talk to my elders, they don't say shit good about white America. None of them. So the thing is that when you tell us, we need to rally around the flag, why are we rallying around the flag when I still have documented evidence after the integration of America, of the United States government still working against black people? Even after we supposed to be patriotic and we're supposed to be integrating ourselves into this society, the United States government is still working against black people. So all of this, we need to rally around the flag because people fought and died. Listen, man, we just got our freedom from you crazy motherfuckers. And we're still fighting to try to maintain our freedom from you crazy motherfuckers. So you can miss me with the whole, people fought and died. I've heard that too many times from white people. Too many times you sit there and try to ignore the fact that during World War I and World War II, you were treating black people like shit. We couldn't even drink at the fucking water fountain. Couldn't even go to a damn store after we built this country. So please, miss me with that. Miss me with the whole people died. Our people died in the millions, bruh. In the transatlantic slave, during the plantation, during Jim Crow. Come on, man. I don't see why us as a people have to keep making sacrifices for people who don't even fucking like us. We got to keep shedding our blood for a bunch of people who don't even like us. Every time I come on my YouTube channel, all I get is you're a nigger, you're anti-Christian, you're anti-white. Never taking accountability for the shit that they've done to us, but just want to point the finger at us and tell us that we're supposed to just rally behind them because they make a decision. Fuck your decision and fuck rallying behind you. Because there's no reason for us to keep dying behind people who keep literally working against us. You have a president in office right now who is actively working against black people. Actively. And you can't deny it. You can sit here and try to act like it ain't true, but the facts is what it is. Donald Trump is working actively right now against every race of people in America and the world. He's working against Asians. He's working against black people. He's working against Latinos. He's working against the Middle Eastern people. He's racist towards everybody. Yet, they want to tell everybody over here that we're supposed to rally around a flag that don't support them, but only white people. Where is the benefit? And when you keep sitting here saying, well, you got the freedom to be on YouTube, listen to me. As a human being, I have my own freedom. My freedom ain't granted to me by white people. And it ain't granted to me by no technology. It's granted to me by my right as a human being to exist on this planet and breathe, eat, and sleep and shit just like every other being does on this planet. There is not no gift from white people. So fuck your YouTube and all that other shit you want to come out with and say that, oh, well, because you got YouTube, you got the right to come on here and say how you feel. I got the right to say how I feel because I'm a human being. And I stand on what I feel, regardless of the outcome. If that means that 30 white people come to my house and try to give me the business, I'm willing to stand on that. So the thing is that my freedom don't come from you. My freedom comes from what we've done to free ourselves. Not because some white man granted it to me. Not because I'm on YouTube because we have some technology that you didn't create. So miss me would come up with a better argument with that, man. Come up with a better argument with that. See, what we need to start doing as a people is we need to start signing some kind of contract with white folks and saying, like, listen, if we're going to support you, then we're going to have to do A, B, C, D, and E. That's what the Iranians are doing. The Iranians are saying, listen, if you want to do business with us, we're going to have some kind of what? Memorandum of understanding. Meaning that we're going to have some kind of understanding and say, like, listen, if y'all don't send drugs into our community, if y'all get the fucking police out of our community, if y'all leave us with access to banks and wealth so that we can economically improve ourselves, we can have some kind of dealings with each other and be at peace. But if we can't have some kind of a memorandum of understanding where we can coexist and actually build up this country and live in harmony, then fuck it. I'm not participating. I'm not rooting for you. I'm not doing none of that shit because you're not rooting for me. You're not making sure that my communities are drug free. You're actually putting drugs in our community. You're putting guns in our community, and you're keeping our community impoverished. And it's not me saying it. It's documents from the United States government. It's not me just saying, oh, you know, this, that, and what white folks are doing. This is documents. This is, you can go read it yourself. It's called the National Memorandum Council, the National Security Council Memorandum 46. United States government actively working against black people in America to keep them impoverished in their communities. Why should we be rallying around the flag? Now go ahead and speak. You tell me now, because you gotta have a better answer than that one, because that don't work. World War II, World War I, you were treating black people like shit. So what's another one? Come up with another one.
Well, I just want to know when it's my turn.
Go ahead, it's your turn.
Okay. So, I want to start off by saying that virtually nothing that you said either A, recanted what I said or dismissed what I said by any standard of argument whatsoever. But B, did any of it correlate with itself? You went from Donald Trump being racist towards everybody to blacks were forced or they were enslaved to go fight in World War II, which is historically not correct. Black people actually volunteered very heavily in World War II to fight against the Axis powers. Outside of that, I'm gonna scale this back because I feel like you just have like, I'm starting to think I might understand you now a little bit better. I think you're just emotional. I don't know that a lot of this is coming from a logical place because you jump from one place to the next, and none of it's really landing. It's kind of like throwing a bunch of shit at the wall to see what sticks. You said your grandfather fought in the Korean War, that you had a great-grandfather that fought in the Civil War. If you had family members that fought in wars, then your position would not be so dismissive of somebody who's died in the war or died in any of the wars that sacrificed their lives for your freedom. Now, to say that I need to come up with a better argument is really kind of ridiculous because that is the ultimate sacrifice. Like, there is no better argument than somebody literally laying their life down for you. Like, you are alive today and free today because somebody else is dead in the ground for you. So it has nothing to do with white people. It has nothing to do with black people. It has everything to do with the fact that the only reason that you can so boldly say the things that you're saying today on this platform is because somebody that has never met you in their life paid the ultimate price and gave the ultimate sacrifice for you to diminish their sacrifice. That's crazy, man. Like, I've walked through Arlington Cemetery and I've watched all of the graves. I've watched the changing of the guard. And I may not agree with all of our foreign countermeasures and policy that we have in the Middle East. I mean, I didn't agree with the 20-year war in Iraq, but I'm also not stupid enough to think that these people that sacrificed their lives, sacrificed their freedom, that they should be diminished. And no one ever in history that has ever had that opinion has ever been held in a high regard or had a logical argument. Even the old philosophers valued people that and respected people that went to war and sacrificed their lives because, again, they're doing something that you're not doing. I saw somebody earlier in the chat make a comment about, you know, if you're not going to suit up, then shut up. And I can't agree with that more. Like, it has nothing
No, I'm not going to
why
suit
should
up,
you
and
rally
I'm not
around-
going to
Hold
shut
on,
up.
I let you talk. I didn't interrupt. It has nothing to do with rallying around the flag at that point. It has everything to do with the fact that you want a better argument than somebody's ultimate sacrifice.
They're no ultimate sacrifice. That's bullshit. Everything you just said is bullshit. It's straight horseshit.
How is it bullshit?
Easy, because you just went over exactly everything that I just said. I said exactly during World War I and World War II were white people treating black people like shit.
Do you really think?
Answer the question. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you that. I asked you a question. In World War I and World War II, so you don't want to answer the question. You don't want to answer it. In World War I and World War II were white people treating black people like shit.
Are you going to keep interrupting me?
Answer the question.
Are you going to keep interrupting me?
Answer the question.
Why would I try to answer the question if you're going to interrupt me?
Because you didn't answer it last time. You went right over it. So you only want to make arguments. You only want to make arguments on your points. But you don't want to answer the truth. During World War I and during World War II, were white people actively segregating and treating black people like shit? Simple question.
Do you want an answer, or do you just want to hear yourself talk?
Go ahead and answer the question.
Do you want an answer, or do you want to hear yourself talk?
Avoiding. Go ahead. Answer the question.
I'm asking you.
Answer the question, or I'm gonna hang up on you. Answer the question, or I'm gonna hang up on you. Answer the question.
Okay, then don't interrupt me.
Answer the question.
Don't interrupt me then. Agree to agree.
Answer the question. Answer the question, man. Or I'm gonna hang up on your ass.
Hang up then, dude. You're a
Oh,
coward.
okay then. Okay, exactly. Like I said, you're not gonna answer the question, and that's the typical white people right there. Don't want to answer the question, but want you to answer the shit because they don't want to tell the truth about how evil they fucking are and they're fucking demons. Period. Period.
So it has nothing to do
Period. 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 It's real simple. They want you to rally around the flag, but don't want to tell you about the demonic shit that they have done because they just want to use you. They want to use you. They want to sit here and tell you, well, if you're not going to suit up, then shut up. No, I'm not suiting up for you. You dirty, nasty motherfucker. Why I want to keep suiting up for somebody that treat me like shit? Why? Why? That don't make no sense. Why? Why? You gonna answer the question? You gonna answer it? Are you gonna answer it? Are you going to answer, or are you just going to keep asking me if I'm going to interrupt you?
Because you keep doing it. You've done it.
Well, answer the question then. Where during World War I and World War II, were white people treating black people like shit?
Do you think that the soldiers that were...
A simple yes or no question, bro. I don't ask you all that shit. I ask you a fucking question. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Shut up.
Yes or no?
Shut up.
No, you shut the fuck up and get off my channel, bitch. Yo, bitch ass. Fuck off my channel, bitch. Fuck out of here. Real simple, yo. See, they want your undying loyalty without giving you anything. That's what they want to do. They want to sit here and tell you to suit up and go to war so you can come back home and be treated like shit. And have a whole fucking government working against you. A whole government working against you. A whole government working against you. But they want your undeniable, undying loyalty while they flood our communities with drugs and shit. Suit up or shut up. Man, fuck you. Fuck out of here. Don't even want to answer the question. Simple question. During World War I and World War II, were white people treating black people like shit? He already know the answer. He already know it. In fact, the United States government were treating the Nazis better than they were African Americans. Better. They were treating the African Americans like shit. Made us segregate ourselves, even after we went over there and died in the war. They want your undeniable loyalty, but then they come out with policies like this that work against you. Then he talking about I'm avoiding the question. Avoiding what? It was a simple question. Why the fuck should black people keep rallying around a flag that ain't never rallied around them? Why do we keep rallying, sacrificing ourselves for people who ain't sacrificing themselves for us? Why?
Hello?
Go ahead. Turn your TV down.
All right. They want you to rally around the flag, but don't want to tell you about the demonic shit that they have done.
Turn your TV down.
It's all.
Okay, go ahead.
He doesn't know anything about the military.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Not a damn thing.
I can go all the way back when California wasn't nothing but a swamp, and how the cavalry and all the different armies. Back then, slaves were promised to be free if they fought for that country or that land. But they weren't. They weren't free, and still aren't free. Going to Vietnam, let's come forward. For kitchen, dining room, janitors in the military, slaves.
Yeah.
They weren't even allowed on top side of the carriers.
Say that again.
They weren't even allowed top side on aircraft carriers.
Weren't even allowed top side on aircraft carriers. Black people fighting in the military weren't even allowed top side on aircraft carriers. Go ahead.
No, they were laundry. They were slaves.
Slaves.
Yeah, they had a uniform, and even back then, the Tuskegee Airmen, look what they went through. You know?
Yep.
I can go on and on and on, but no, slavery is still today. Go to your police department and look and count who's there.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
Who's wearing bars on their collar? So, no, slavery is still in full effect today. Go to your banks and look.
Speak on it.
Grocery stores and look.
Speak on it.
Everywhere you look at your transportation system, your city buses.
Look.
So, no. He has no clue to what he's talking about.
Now, see, what it is that you got to understand something. They have talking points. So one of their talking points that they try to instill on black people is they try to use shame.
Right.
So they'll try to shame you into, you know what I'm saying, giving your life for a country that's never given its life for you. And then they'll try to tell you that all these wars somehow was fighting for your freedom, when in all actuality, they were denying you your freedom the whole goddamn time. So like when he tried to sit there and make his argument to say that, well, if we wouldn't have defeated Germany, then, you know what I'm saying, the Germans would have came over here and enslaved the African people. Like shit, we was already enslaved over here.
Right.
So it's like, you know, during World War I and World War II, they were treating black people like shit.
First of all,
so he didn't want to answer that question because he already know the truth of the truth is the truth.
Right. First of all, the military did not go to a Baptist church and ask for help. They went to the Vatican. And it wasn't about freedom. It was about gold, silver, money, and most of all, oil.
Oil.
Every war.
Every war.
Every war.
And they just want our undying support and loyalty.
They wanted the slaves so they could have the power to go against another enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And they used the slaves to keep them dressed well, warm, while they didn't even get new boots put on their feet.
Say that again.
They wanted the slaves to help keep the whites fighting with equipment, boots, food. The slaves were the cooks. Slaves were the... I can go on and on and on.
Huh?
But see, everybody already knows what the blacks did in going all the way back in every war.
Mm-hmm.
What the blacks had done.
Every war.
And we go to the 60s, coming into the 70s, when they were just able to get out of the kitchen. And that was Vietnam and Cambodia.
Huh?
Yeah, look it up.
I already know. That's why I tell them, like, you know, they want to come on here and try to shame us. Right. You should be ashamed if you not to make the sacrifices that. And see, when I told them about the war, and my people that have been there, it's nothing you can say. You know what I'm saying? Because in the Civil War, we were fighting for our freedom.
Right.
So it wasn't like we're fighting to get free.
Us that we would be free if we fought.
Exactly.
And it was a lie.
It was a lie.
And it's still a lie.
Still a lie.
So, no matter what, look how they treat the NAACP. You don't hear much of nothing from them anymore.
Nothing.
No. What happened to them?
Huh?
No support.
No support.
And because they've been infiltrated,
yep.
And it's going right back to where it was when it was in the 60s. Blacks against blacks.
Straight like that.
Yeah.
See, the truth is always what it is. And see, what they'll try to do is they'll try to use, if you're ignorant and you're not historically inclined to understand what was really going down in these wars, especially in World War I, World War II, and how they treat black people, you know what I'm saying? Then you sit there and you fall for it and be like, well, you know, I got to be patriotic and stuff because, you know, people they fight and they died for me. And, you know, it's the same thing with the Jesus shit. You know, Jesus died on the cross for you. Everybody died on the cross for you while you still a fucking slave. You know what I'm saying?
The white man on the cross. I didn't think Jesus was white.
I don't care what it is. I don't care that man. I have my own life. So I ain't worried about no another man dying on the cross for me for shit. But that's part of the psychology of it, though. Yeah.
Now all your Bible is all white.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm an old man.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm talking about because I was part of the system.
Speak on it. How old are you?
I'm 75.
75.
Yeah.
So you know for a fact because you've actually experienced it and you actually had a chance to actually see everything that went on from I don't know if you was in World War II, if you're old enough for World War II, but I know for a fact you're old enough for the Civil Rights Movement. I know that for a fact.
Korea, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And I studied.
Yeah.
I became a master diver, and I studied, and I follow history.
Yeah.
And we are in a worse. We were better off if we stayed the way we were.
Yeah.
But today, we're being set up to die.
Exactly.
That's what they did to us medically. You know
what I'm saying?
This COVID thing was a nightmare.
Man.
You know, they know how to kill us without being blamed.
Man. You know. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Stay online. You gonna answer my question?
I'm genuinely intrigued as to how you've made it this long in your life.
Are you going to answer my question? Are you going to answer my question?
How are you so fucking stupid?
Are you gonna answer my question? Yes or no?
Answer my fucking question,
Okay, well,
bitch.
fuck you then. You're not gonna answer the question, don't call. See, the thing it is, but man, it's hard for the devil to admit when he's wrong. Very hard. But I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you. Because it's very, very hard for the devil to admit when he's wrong. He don't want to sit here and say, yeah, you know, we treated black people like shit during World War I, World War II, and they have every right.
Not just World War I and One and Two.
No, I'm just saying, that's the only thing I asked him. I asked him about World War I. That's real simple. World War I, World War II. Did white people treat black people like shit? Simple question.
Yeah, it's real simple.
Real simple. But see, if you're trying to avoid, you know what I'm saying, facts, then you're going to come on here, you're going to do everything you can. You're going to say, I don't know how you made it this far in your life. I don't know how you did this and how you I don't know how you did. You're going to say everything but what I asked you. I asked you a simple question. Real simple.
Yeah.
Were black people treated like shit during World War I, and World War II? Since you want us to rally around this flag, you can't even admit what your people did. You can't even come on here and say, yeah, you right. You know, black people was treated like shit and, you know, but we're going to change. We're going to be better now. I would respect that. If you just accepted, if you stated the truth rather than keep trying to avoid it and try to make me look stupid because I historically know about the history. I historically know what you evil motherfuckers have done.
Well, what you want to hear a good one?
What's that?
Let's go to the 60s. When the black man was coming back home from war, he had no home because the government in the United States took control over their families. The black man wasn't allowed in the house if the wife got on welfare. Think about it. He was exiled away from his own family. So when he did go, she would call the police and he would end up in prison on bumped up charges. That was one way to keep the blacks separated.
And you see how I got, did you hear me earlier when I read this joint called the National Security Memorandum?
Yeah.
About how up under the Jimmy Carter administration, they worked their asses off to keep us separated from African people so that we wouldn't enjoy the fruits of being able to do trade with our people in the continent.
Right.
So
Now, that's history.
that's history. That's not me saying anything. This is literally, this is documented evidence.
It will speak on that.
Yeah, this is documented evidence.
Yeah.
Not something I'm making up. Anybody go out there and look at it yourself.
It's not being broadcast.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, listen, you know, one thing I've learned, what's your name, sir?
Frank.
One thing I've learned, Frank, is this. The devil's gonna be the devil.
Oh, yeah.
And the devil practices deceit and technology. And he's never going to admit that he's wrong, even if he is wrong, because it doesn't benefit him to admit his wrongs. The only thing that benefits him is that tomorrow he gets a chance to win. But the thing about it is that right there is not happening no more. So the thing about it is that in the losing attempt, they want to try to paint the history of America as if, you know what I'm saying, we have made the same sacrifices for a country that we love the way that they love it. But it's not like that. We have been forced into these wars because we were enslaved by a tyrannical devil demon people. A people that told you that they were Christians, but really practiced devilishment.
Right. And when we came home, we were spit on.
And we were spit on, man.
We were literally spit on at the airport, at the train stations, any form of transportation that brought us back from them foreign countries. And we had a uniform on. I got spit on.
You got spit on by white people.
Yeah. No, by the police.
By the police.
Patrol,
spit on by white people and spit on by the police.
By white people, even the kids, when we walked by, would kick us.
Even the kids would kick you.
Yeah.
This ain't me saying this, y'all. This is a man that actually fought in the war, came back home, only for white America to spit and kick him for his service.
And there's so many, and most of them are dying now. Most of them that went through all that are dying. And the majority of them became homeless because they wasn't allowed to go home.
Because they weren't allowed to go home.
No. The wife had went on with the children and got on welfare, and the welfare said, well, you can't have no man in this house. They got on because the rent was being paid, and they were getting food stamps. And so the husband was no longer needed there.
Mm.
And that's why you've seen so many black men in New York, Detroit, Chicago, Ohio, all the way down to Atlanta, Georgia, all in the streets.
Mm. Homeless.
Homeless. And then when they got angry at the wife and they went and started arguing, they'd end up in prison.
Mm.
So they lost all their benefits with the military. They were stripped. Man, there's so many hidden things that people don't even know nothing about.
Mm.
And I remember it. I'll take it to my grave.
Mm.
I was put in an orphanage at the age of 5.
Mm.
So I know, I've seen it. I've lived it.
Mm.
So even today is worse because they're sneaky now. They're very sneaky.
Very sneaky.
Yeah, they get 1 or 2 black men and women and put them in a position, and they think they're going to go back to their community and tell everybody how well they're doing.
Hmm.
And it ain't happening that way.
Hmm.
And if they don't do it, they lose their position.
Hmm.
We're living in a country that will not change.
Mm. And you see it right there in the caller. Don't want to admit to nothing. Just, well, you know, people fought and died. Yeah.
Yeah,
We've heard that before. You know, we can go back to the Buffalo Soldiers. I ain't even really want to go back that far. You know what I'm saying? That's another whole story. You know, you go watch the movie and see how they treated black people when they were so-called in United States Army.
Well, the Buffalo Soldiers bought land here in California and had a town.
Oh, yeah.
And it got burned down.
Yeah. See, my thing is this. My thing is this. You know, I'm not stupid enough to sit here and act like these people ain't my enemy.
Oh,
It's too much documents. It's too much, you know, bullshit callers like that. There's too much shit going around for us to sit here and act like, you know what I'm saying, we're Americans and this country care about us and we got to rally around the flag and every time we go to war, we got to go to war with them and this and that. And then, you know, I'm like Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfucking Asians over there ain't done shit to me. The Middle Eastern people ain't done shit to me. The only motherfucker who's done shit to me is these motherfuckers over here.
Right. You right on time.
Yeah. That's the same as what Muhammad Ali said. I ain't worried about, you know what I'm saying, nothing them people over there did. I'm still fighting for my freedom over here. Why the fuck I'm gonna go over there and fight so-called for their people freedom, and I'm still trying to get mines over here?
And you won't get it when you come home. I got spit on. That's what I got. That was my reward.
Hmm.
And I wasn't by myself either.
Hmm.
They didn't care. If there had been 100 of us getting off that airplane, they'd have spit on every one of us.
Hmm. And you know, another thing they try to tell you, man, is because I've heard all the talking points. You know what I'm saying? I've heard all the talking points. Another one is, you know what I'm saying? If you don't help us fight, they gonna come over here and they're gonna fuck us up and this and that. And it's like, well, you already doing that over here. You already fucking us up. So what the fuck I gotta worry about them? They halfway across the motherfucking world. They ain't got no motherfucking ships and airplanes and shit to get over here. What the fuck I gotta worry about them coming over here fucking us up when when we got a whole United States government that's literally working against us? Like I don't see the argument. I don't see the logic in their argument, nor do I see any repentance. That's what I'll be really looking for. It's like, if you've done something wrong, man, the best thing to do is just be like, listen.
Yeah, don't even look for repentance.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, because there is no repentance.
There is none.
That would be an omission.
Yeah. Somebody wanted to call in. The number is 323-497-6827. 323-497-6825. My bad. 323-497-6825. 323-497-6825. I'll let one last caller come in before we shut this down. But
thank you for giving me the time, sir.
Oh yeah, please, man. Call my line anytime, man. We have a show, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate
All right.
you know what I'm saying, you spitting your truth, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to give you your flowers now, man, for being a dedicated soldier towards your people. You know what I'm saying? And having the guts to really even call my phone and express your truth and tell people the real of what it really felt like to be a Black American, you know what I'm saying, soldier in this country, and how you was really treated by a government and by a people who hate you.
And boy, did they show it.
You know what I'm saying? Who hate you. You know what I'm saying? And even though they're trying to tell us now that they've changed, Trump has really showed us that they have not changed and don't plan on changing anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Frank, man, for calling in. You know what I'm saying? And setting that fool straight, man, because, you know what I'm saying, they go come on here and try to, you know, talk that bullshit, but you can't talk that shit. Man, I'm too smart. You can't call my line and be like, well, you gotta, because people died and shit for it. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody want to hear that shit. Give me a real reason. And that's why I say that I agree with Ice Cube when he says that Black people need to come up with some kind of contract with dealing with white people, because if we do not, they're going to continue to act devilish inside of our communities. They're going to continue to poison our people. They're going to continue to do all the things that they're going to do. As soon as we get the idea and understand that these people are our enemies and they behave and act as if they are our enemies, we will be better off. But this whole let's get along, the get along type shit, that shit don't work.
No.
It don't work.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We have to literally come out with some kind of contract as if we're Native Americans or something like that, where we sit down and say, look, we don't want drugs in our community, we want no police in our community. We don't even want you in our fucking communities. You know what I'm saying? Because all you've done ever since, we got hundreds of years of documentation of you being evil devils. So therefore, we don't want you inside of our communities, and we don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And if we do have any type of dealings with y'all, it's going to be going by some kind of memorandum of understanding.
Right.
If we have some kind of understanding between each other and we do some trade or something like that and stuff like that, would be better than this whole trying to get along and that's my buddy over there and all that bullshit, because literally the United States government works every day against Black people.
Right.
And if you don't understand that, you don't understand these people. They do this with everybody. And we got to stop being fools and acting like these people are our friends, because they're not.
No. All you got to do is put gas in your car and get yourself a couple suitcases and travel.
That's it.
And you will see
Yeah.
hate that you didn't even know existed in life.
Man. Anyone y'all want to call in, you can call in. The number's 323-497-6825. Somebody said they wanted to call in earlier. They wanted to talk. The number's 323-497-6825. Call in. You know what I'm saying? It's real simple. You know what I'm saying? It's a real simple question. Why should we rally around a flag that ain't rallied around us?
We
Why?
have a flag. We have a flag.
Yeah, our flag is the red, black, and green flag. That's my flag right here.
It just ain't allowed to fly.
This is my flag right here. Always go be. I ain't rocking shit else but this one.
Yeah.
Red, black, and green flag all day long.
Yeah.
You don't like it, fuck you. Straight like that. That's my flag.
Can you imagine us putting that in our front yard?
Every day. That's my flag.
Yeah.
Straight like that.
You're a good man, sir. I'm hanging up.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, sir.
That's my flag. It ain't some Caucasoid flag where, you know what I'm saying, black soldiers come home and the people spit on them. Treat them like shit. Man went over there and put his life on the line only to come home and have people spit on him and kick him. The number is 323-497-6825. Real simple. Real simple. Why should we rally around a flag that ain't never rallied around us? See, another thing they want to do is try to convince you that they gave you your freedom as if you're not free. You're not supposed to be free in the first place. They didn't give us our freedom. We were born free. The devil can't give you your freedom. The devil's the devil. The devil's the devil. How the hell the same people that took your freedom away from you go give you your freedom or tell you when you can turn your freedom on and off? That don't even make no damn sense. But they have convinced a lot of Negroes out there that the reason why they free is because the white folks say they can be free. As if you're not inherently supposed to be free to say whatever the fuck you want to say. Anything you say come out your mouth, man, you have the right to stand on it whether you die or live. Period. And it's more important to stand up as a man than to lay down as a slave. Way more important. Don't let these people convince you, man, that they gave you something and that they can take it at any given point in time. They don't have no authority over you. They just force you into a submission. They don't have the right to judge you in court. They don't have the right to pull up on the side of you. They don't have the right to do none of that shit. They do it out of force, period. And when you really understand that, you really understand your place on this planet. Your freedom is not gifted to you by white people. They didn't give you freedom. You were supposed to be born free. Born free. But see, being that you live upon a tyrannical government, these people want to act like your freedom is optional or a gift. That you're really not free unless they say you are. And you're supposed to go out there and fight in every war with them so you can be free, only to come home, like this gentleman said, to be spit on. Real simple question I asked them, y'all. Were black people treated like shit during World War I and World War II? He couldn't answer the question. Because we already know the truth. Truth of the matter is that black people work. Truth is what it is. Real simple. Real simple. But I digress. I appreciate everybody that tapped in today. Y'all know what this is. It's the Nesubiti Menkepera Thutmoses the Great. Always spitting that factual, actual truth. Nah, you called in at the last minute. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up? I just came across your YouTube channel and I've been seeing it a decent amount.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you for a lot of the stuff you say, but my biggest thing is, are you saying that it's all white people that are doing this, or are you saying like it's the higher power?
Well, if you listen to my argument, it's real simple. I said, why should black people rally around a government that hasn't rallied around them?
No one should.
Exactly.
It's that simple. It's that simple. But
That's simple.
why are you directing it towards white people?
Because the government...
Explain this to me.
I'll explain it to you. The
and
United States
brother,
government,
right?
hold up. The United States government, every president that has been inside the United States government, except for, I'll give you three presidents. Abraham Lincoln,
Yep.
John F. Kennedy,
Yep.
and Barack Obama.
Okay.
Every last one of those presidents have been white presidents except for Barack Obama. So therefore,
Yes, sir.
the majority of the people that vote for those people, because black people, we just got
Hold on,
let me finish. Let me finish.
Something kind of interesting.
Hold on, let me
Did you know
finish.
all of the presidents are also Freemasons and they're connected to Freemasonry?
Oh, of course, I know that. You started off with George Washington.
Even Obama.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So what is your argument there? If you're saying it's all white people, what if it's not all white people? What if it's a higher agenda? What if it's people that just think we're less in general?
Well, the thing about it is that when you go back to like segregation, right, down in the South, right,
Right.
that was all white people who worked
Yes, sir.
effortlessly
Yes, sir.
to segregate and oppress black people. That wasn't
Like
just a couple of Freemasons. That wasn't just a couple of
Right.
white people
I
that was just like
understand
this.
that,
And
but
that.
do you know Abraham Lincoln? He was about to release $1, but the only reason that he was killed was not because of the slaves. The reason he was killed is because he was trying not to take a European loan from the Europeans to create a new fund.
Okay.
And you can look this up.
Okay, that's cool. But what I'm saying is that, the whole basis of this argument is not just all white people, but it is definitely the majority of white people. So
I agree with you, but what I disagree with is the fact that you think it's simply just based on race, brother. It is not. It's never been. Me and you are on the same podium.
Well, whether we want to say it's not based on race, you got to remember something. This country made racist laws. It wasn't black people who made the racist law in this country. It wasn't black people.
True.
It wasn't black people who said, you know what, we're going to segregate ourselves from white people. It wasn't black people who said that, you know what, we're going to put you out there in the fields and work. There wasn't black people who said that you got to be on plantations and this. This was something that white people worked as a systematic. The banks worked in that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
you see what you're saying?
No, hold on. Let me
Banks,
finish. Let me finish.
exactly
Let me
what I'm
finish.
getting at,
Let me
brother.
finish.
It is not
This was a
based
white
on-
system.
It is not based on race. It is based on
No.
money.
You
It
can
is
say
based on
that.
economy.
You can say that it wasn't based on race, but it was the racist white people who did it. So if the shoe don't fit, because this is what I do with a lot of white people. If it doesn't hurt you personally, if you don't have the history, then you shouldn't.
If
Don't
you're saying
do that.
That doesn't hurt me personally, you're wrong, because my brother is black. Growing up, I've had white people
Listen,
and
listen,
black
listen,
people
listen,
look
listen,
at us
listen,
and
listen,
treat us
listen.
differently because of that.
Well, listen. That's the scars of this nation. It's just the
Right.
fact
So
of the
what
matter.
is your argument for that? If you're saying
No, no,
that,
no, no. I'm not arguing that. My argument is real simple. Why should black people rally around a flag that doesn't rally around them? All this other
brother,
stuff
no
that you're
one should
talking with,
rally around
that's your own
anything
other
that,
stuff.
that does
I'm not
protect
talking
them.
about that. I'm talking about the facts. Fuck the it's a couple of white people in here that's cool and you know they had this and that. That's the shit that Martin Luther King was on.
Okay. So
I'm
let's
talking about
say,
the facts.
Okay, let's say I agree with you. All right.
Uh-huh.
Let's just say, and I'm not saying I disagree with you. That's the biggest thing I want to get across. Because what you are saying, and this is why I wanted to call you, because you hit a lot of points. But the thing that always sticks out to me is the race part of it. Because you are right. Mass is white. You are right. Mass that has affected the black community is white.
Okay.
And looking at the past, you are right. White people are what? Murderers, traitors, liars, and thieves. And I am a white man, and I am telling you this.
Okay.
Okay? But does that make me a murderer, a liar, a traitor, and a thief?
Well, I never called you one. I don't know who you are.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you did.
Yeah.
But your argument is that mass is. And brother, if you put mass into one image, that means it's ignorance.
No. It's not ignorance. Because it's mass white people who have done this. This wasn't just a couple of white people who was like, we're going to fuck the blacks over and shit. This was a systematic movement.
Type community,
Uh-huh.
and because I grew up in a poverty type community, are you saying if I entered a black household, aka my family's household, I would not be respected? I shouldn't be.
Did I say any of that? I never said, listen.
With white people.
Listen.
What does that mean?
I'll tell you exactly what it means. It means exactly what you just said earlier. White people have a history of being murderers, traitors, thieves, and genocidal maniacs. Now, you personally might not be none of that. But the thing about it is, it will be ignorant for me to assume that you're not none of that if you have a history as a people of doing
I get what
that.
you're saying, kind of like the snake in the fire, right? Like if there's a snake in a fire and you go to rescue the snake and the snake bites you, whose fault is that? Yours or the snake's? Right? That's kind of what you're saying, right?
Listen, it's real simple, bro. And I hate the fact that, you come on here and try to personalize it because it has nothing to do with you personally. We're talking about the United States. Hold on, let me finish.
I know that.
We're talking about this, but that's what you're trying to do, though. You're trying to come on. Listen. You're trying to come on my channel and guilt trip me. It's not going to work, bro.
I'm not trying to guilt trip
you. are trying to guilt trip me. You come on here and try to say, well, you're going to treat me like that because, the people did this and that, and I didn't do it. I get that shit all the time. Don't come on my channel and try to guilt trip me because your people have done some shit.
Did I say that they were liars, murderers, and yes?
Okay, so why are you calling my channel trying to personalize it as if I'm talking directly to you, as if I know you? I'm telling you about the United States government and what it does to black people. The United States government actively works against black people to sanction them in the banks, to sanction them. Exactly. So why are you calling my channel trying to personalize it as if I'm talking to you, as if I know you? I don't know you.
I want to make the argument broader. It's not just, okay, look, you think I'm disagreeing with you. I am not disagreeing with you.
No. I get what you're saying. You're trying to say that this is an entity of Freemasons, bankers, and authoritative figures inside the United States. What I'm trying to tell you is that...
Mark my words. War is coming, and we will all see it. And this is how I know.
I already know.
Christ.
Okay. I appreciate you calling.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to me. And once again, I never wanted you to think I was trying to guilt trip you, or honestly make you think I disagreed with you, because a lot of the things you said did hit home, and that's why I felt the need to call you, because I was interested. And thank you for actually taking the time and doing this. I
appreciate you calling.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. See, we got to stop personalizing it. Y'all know what y'all don't try to sit there. Well, I didn't do it. I know you didn't do it. But I also know that you got potential to do it. So it's just caution of me to be cautious. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to be cautious. And I really do believe that us as a people, we need to segregate ourselves from people who are actively working against us. If I got a neighbor, right, and my neighbor is literally trying to sabotage my house, why the fuck would I stay there? And if I did find out that my neighbor was sabotaging my house, I'm going to confront him. I'm going to confront him and I'm going to say, look, neighbor, would you please stop trying to sabotage my life? Stop trying to sabotage my house. Stop it. The phone lines is open, man. Somebody want to call. It's 323. I'll take one more caller. 323-497-6825. Somebody said they wanted to call in. One more caller. 323-497-6825. Listen. All these talking points, we've all heard them before. Well, I ain't do it. How many times have black people heard that shit? I wasn't a slave. I wasn't enslaving black people. Okay, I've heard that shit. I heard it. We've heard it. Well, people fought and died for this country. I've heard that one too. I've heard that. I've heard it. I can bring up more talking points. Well, it was the African people that sold you to us. I've heard that one. I've heard that one. All these talking points that these people come up with is to try to take the heat off of them either personally or try to deflect. I personally didn't do it. It was the Africans that did it, or the people fought and died for the country. It's never about repentance. It's never about reparations. It's never about any of the evil shit that they've done and try to repair it. It's always just about deflecting. I ain't do it. Somebody else did it.
Yo, what's good, bro?
Last caller, what's up?
I just want to say, bro, I see the amount of Egyptian imagery you have. You know that the Egyptians enslaved black people, right?
That's what you call me for?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. And Jesus loves you, man.
All right, you have a good day.
You too, sir.
That's it. See, you know, the ignorance of people who try to say that is that they don't even understand that there's a whole nation before Egypt even started called Nubia. And the Nubians dressed like this. They were the actual creators of this style of clothing. And do you know that the Egyptians enslaved black people? Get the fuck out of here. The Egyptians were black. This is Queen Aset right here who actually founded the nation. She's not red. She's not pink. She's black. This is who the pyramids was built after. White people are trying to just throw shit out. Do you know that the black people were enslaved by the Egyptians? Get the fuck out of here, man. That's all. And Jesus loved you. Said by the same Christians who enslaved black people. Like I said, deflection. The Christians who say they love Jesus enslaved black people for over 400 years and still treat them like shit now. So don't give me that Jesus talk. Don't try to deflect it on some shit that happened, that you think happened way over there in Egypt. Let's talk about the Christians that are currently talking about they love Jesus, but at the same time spitting on soldiers who come home from fighting wars for them. Knock it off. Y'all sound so stupid talking to a person that's intelligent. Go do some research on history and find out where this style of clothing come from. Go study the Nubians, who y'all tried to bury in the desert and act like don't exist, who actually had more pyramids in Nubia than in Egypt. Go do your research before you come on my channel just talking. You sound stupid. Actually learn about the pharaohs who enslaved people, because when you actually learn about the pharaohs who actually enslaved people, you'll find out that they were actually white people who were dressed up as pharaohs that came from Hyksos up in the north. The foreigners who came and sat on the throne and tried to act like us. Go do your research. Go find out, go study the 10 Commandments and find out that the Pharaoh there actually named was Seti, which was named after the what? The devil. Go do your research. Don't just come on my channel till you know the Egyptians, man, they were actually enslaving black people. You know how many times I've heard that shit from white people? You know how many times I've heard that? But see, they never go into detail. They never tell you exactly what the Pharaoh was, where he was at, where he was located at. Never tell you that. They just try to make you believe that, you know, black people been enslaved and we've been there. They don't tell you the truth, though. They only tell you half of the truth. Just like the caller earlier that when I asked him, you know what I'm saying, were black people treated bad during World War I and World War II? He really didn't want to answer the question. He wanted to ask me if he's going to get a chance to talk. It's going to be very hard to beat me in a debate, man, because I stand on the truth. And I have history on my side. I have history on my side. So, listen, I appreciate everybody that tapped in today. Y'all know what this is. It's the Nestle BT Menkepera Thutmoses the Great. Tap in with me, man. Go check out my website, jewelsfromthethrone.com. Jewelsfromthethrone.com, man. I appreciate everybody who bought some merch from me last week. It'll be coming out to you real soon. We'll bust that out tomorrow. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Join my channel. That's the best way you can support. Listen, go check out some of my old channel, some of my old joints on the war, on the membership joint. And go look at what I talked about with the war. You're going to check it out. You're going to like it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to like it, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? You're going to like it. So, yo, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Keep walking in the truth, black folks. Don't let these devils fool you. Hotep.